Hello and welcome into another episode of Huskies Trivia Mayhem, brought to you by the new SCSU Huskies app, available on the App Store and the Google Play Store. We have SCSU Trivia on the app every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm your host, Sam Getzinger, and alongside of me on this very special episode, we have three members of the SCSU women's soccer program: Nicole Fries, Jenna Dominguez, and Sam Dominguez-Reyes. How you ladies doing tonight?
Good.
All right, good deal. So Huskies Trivia Mayhem, I'll let you know the category for today. It's pretty much U.S. history. So I'm going to put you through the ringer with a little bit of a history quiz, and I'm sure all three of you have bragging rights on the line. So this should be really exciting. Before we hop into our first question, let me run you through the rules. Of course, there are 10 questions total. 9 of them are multiple choice. The 10th question is short answer. So if you have a pen, piece of paper with you, that one's worth 2 points. The other 9 are worth 1 point. So if you're losing that 10th question, you have an opportunity to maybe pull ahead. We have an order set up for you. We'll get into that order in just a minute. If the first person gets the question wrong, it'll be deferred to the second person. If the second person gets it wrong, it'll be deferred to the third person. Then if the third person gets it wrong, nobody gets the point. Any questions? All right, good deal. Let's hop into question number 1 here on Husky Trivia Mayhem. Sam, you'll start us off. Here's your first question. Known for its chocolate, the Hershey Company is located in which U.S. state? So known for its chocolate, the Hershey Company is located in which U.S. state? Here are your options: A, New York; B, Pennsylvania; C, California; or D, Idaho.
Is it B, Pennsylvania?
That's correct. First question, first point up on the board. Congratulations, Sam. We'll now go over to question number 2. Jenna, you have the opportunity to tie up Sam with this one. Here's your question. We all know the first president of the United States was George Washington, but who was the second president? I'm not very good with my presidents, so hopefully you are. Here are your options. Thomas Jefferson is option A, B, Jack Kennedy; C, Ben Franklin; or D, John Adams. Who is the second president?
John Adams.
There we go. Tied up, Sam. 1 point there. Correct answer was John Adams. Now, question 3, we'll go over to you, Nicole. This is an opportunity for you to tie up Jenna and Sam. Here's your question. At the beginning of the 20th century, the United States had its first opportunity to host the Olympic Games, but what state was it held in? At the beginning of the 20th century, what state held the Olympic Games? I saw your eyes light up a little bit. Are you too confident in this one or no?
I have no clue what the answer is.
All right, I'll give you your options. Is it A, Georgia; B, New York; C, Missouri; or D, Nevada? Beginning of the 20th century, where was the Olympic Games in the U.S.?
Georgia.
That one's incorrect. So we got our first incorrect answer of Husky Trivia Mayhem on this episode. So now we'll go roll to the top of the order. Sam, you have an opportunity to steal another point, and you'll start off the next question. At the beginning of the 20th century, the United States had its first opportunity to host the Olympic Games. In what state was it held? Now, Nicole said Georgia, so your other options are New York, Missouri, or Nevada.
Was it New York?
That's incorrect too. I thought it was New York too. Lake Placid, I think that was in the 80s, but that wasn't the first one. So now, Jenna, question goes over to you. You can take the lead here.
Was it Missouri?
That's correct. It was Missouri. It was in St. Louis, Missouri back in 1904. Fun fact for you. Once again, I want to remind you, Huskies Trivia Mayhem is brought to you by the new SCSU Huskies app, which is available on the App Store and the Google Play Store. Trivia on that app that involves SCSU athletics can be found every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Some really cool prizes in there as well. Question number 4, Sam, you'll start. You can tie up Jenna here. And then, of course, Nicole has got some work to do, but we'll get to her in a little bit. Question 4, as we know, Washington, D.C. holds the honor of being our nation's capital. But this was not always the case. What was the United States' original capital, the first capital? Now, there's been a couple, but what was the first one? Your options are A, New York; B, Pennsylvania; C, Boston; or D, Baltimore. So, Sam, this one's for you.
Was it A?
A, you're going with New York. Is that your final answer? That one's incorrect. So now we'll go over to Jenna. Jenna, you can move up to 3 points here. What was the first U.S. capital? Now, Sam said New York. That was incorrect. So now your options are Pennsylvania, Boston, and Baltimore.
Was it Baltimore?
That's incorrect too. So now, Nicole, you can get a point up on the board. I'll run you through your last two options. It's Pennsylvania and Boston. So 50-50 shot here.
Boston?
That's correct. Nope. Sorry, that's incorrect. I thought you were going to say Pennsylvania. It was Pennsylvania. So we went 0 for 3 on that one. Sorry, I jumped the gun there, but Nicole, you won't get any points there. It was made the capital in 1774. There have been 7 other cities that have held the title at the nation's capital before Washington, D.C. One of those was Pennsylvania. So no points awarded on question number 4. Let's move to question number 5. Jenna, you will start this one. It's a golf question. I don't know if you're a golf fan or not. I see a shoulder shrug, so I don't imagine.
Yeah, no.
All right, well then this one should be a lot of fun. Here's your question. Tiger Woods is known worldwide as one of the greatest golfers of all time, due partly to his astonishing win record in major events. How many majors did Tiger claim in the 2000s? So the majors are like the Super Bowls of golf, and he won a lot of them. So here are your options. A7, B10, C9, or D5.
7.
7, you went with option A. That's incorrect. So now we'll go over to Nicole. You can get a point up on the board here. How many majors did Tiger Woods win in the early 2000s? Are you a golf fan?
No.
Okay. Well, then this should be interesting. Let's see if you can get a point up on the board.
What were the options again?
Yep. So Jenna went with 7. That was incorrect. Now we have B, which is 10, C, which is 9, and D, which is 5.
I'm going to say 10.
That's also incorrect. So Sam, you have an opportunity to tie Jenna here. Your options, A7, B10, C9, or D5. And I believe A and B are off the board.
Is it C?
C, that's correct. 9 was the correct answer. Tiger Woods, pretty good golfer, was able to put up 9 majors in the early 2000s. So Sam, you have 2. Jenna, you have 2. Nicole, you got some work to do, but you will start off this next question. This one tricked me up when I was first reading through it, so best of luck to you. It's a short question. What's the longest river in the United States? A, Red River, B, Mississippi, C, Colorado, or D, the Missouri River?
The Mississippi?
See, I said that same thing, but that's incorrect. So the Mississippi River is apparently not the largest or the longest river, but we'll now go over to Sam. You have an opportunity to take the lead here. What is the longest river in the United States? The Red River, the Colorado River, or the Missouri River?
Is it the Missouri River?
That's correct. Up to 3 points. Apparently, it's longer than the Mississippi by 30 miles. I had no idea. Once again, I want to remind you that Huskies Trivia Mayhem is brought to you by the new SCSU Huskies app, which is available on the App Store and the Google Play Store. We'll now go over to question number 7. Sam, you'll start this one off as well, so you can move your point total up to 4 if you get this one right. Here's your question. Known as the Four Corners, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico, and what other state make up the only point in the U.S. where 4 different states touch? And what is the missing state? So we have Utah, Arizona, New Mexico. What's the 4th state of the Four Corners? Is it A, Nevada, B, Colorado, C, Texas, or D, Oklahoma?
Colorado.
That's correct. Very confident in that one. I like that a lot. So Sam, you have 4 points now. Jenna, you have 2. Still opportunity to come back. And Nicole, you're down there with no points. I think you have maybe if you get lucky, you have a couple opportunities to get some points. We'll see how it all goes. Question number 8, Jenna, you'll start this one off. A unique fact: this animal outnumbers people in Montana 3-1. What is the animal? Is it A, cows, B, dogs, C, pigs, or D, wolves? What animal outnumbers people 3-1 in Montana?
I'm gonna go with pigs.
That's incorrect. So, Nicole, you have an opportunity to grab your first point here.
Cows.
That's correct. Nicole, up on the board, you have one. So you're in contention here, and you're going to start off this next question, too. If you get it right, then you'll tie Jenna going into the last question. Question 9. In a story of David and Goliath, Alaska dwarfs Rhode Island in size, but Rhode Island holds this over the largest state. Is it A, more snow, B, a larger population, C, the northern lights, or D, more bears? It's a big question for you.
Wait, what were the questions again?
So the question was, what does Rhode Island have over the largest state in America? And that's Alaska. Is it A, more snow, B, larger population, C, the northern lights, or D, more bears?
B.
Larger population? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, that's correct. So going into the 10th and final question, Sam, you have 4. You're sitting pretty good, but if one of these two get it right, then and you get it wrong, then they'll tie you, and we'll have to go to a tiebreaker. Jenna and Nicole, you guys have 2. So let's hop into our 10th and final question. This one is actually, it's worth, we're going to make this one worth 3 points because you're going to have to write down 3 cities. So a lot on the line here. We should see a winner after this question. Here's your question, then I'll give you time to write it down, and then we'll show the camera, and we'll see who got it right. In terms of population, these 3 cities lead the way. What are the 3 most populated states or cities in the country? Most populated cities in the country. It's 1 point each. So 3 points total is what you can get here. I'll give you 15 seconds. I see Sam's thinking. Jenna and Nicole are writing away. Do we have our answers in? Thumbs up or in? I got a thumbs up from Jenna. Nicole, are we good? Sam, you good? Oh, she's still thinking. All right, I'll give you a little bit more time. 3 most populated cities in the country. That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
All right, we're good. Nicole, you good? You got your answers locked in, ready to go? All right, sounds good. On the count of 3, hold up your papers to the camera, and we'll see who got the question right. Each city is worth 1 point. 3, 2, 1. What do we got? So Sam went with New York, LA, and Boston. Sam, you got 2 points there. Boston is not on the list. Jenna went with Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles. That's correct. So you got 3 points there. And Nicole, let's see, you went with New York, DC, and San Francisco. Unfortunately, you only get 1 point there. So let me do the quick math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Sam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Jenna. So that means, Sam, you come away with a win on this episode of Huskies Trivia Mayhem. It was a fun one. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a good time. Sam, enjoy the bragging rights you have over these 2.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you 2 need to study up, Jenna and Nicole, on your U.S. history. So we'll get you next time. All right, thanks so much for joining us here on Huskies Trivia Mayhem, brought to you by the new SCSU Huskies app. We'll be back next week with another episode.